The boy was originally an obstetrician. By chance, he became the midwife for his favorite idol. He was shocked to learn that his idol was pregnant. Just as he was coming to terms with reality, he was mysteriously murdered. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself lying in his idol's arms, his body resembling that of an infant. Although it was bizarre, he accepted it gladly. Ai Hoshino was born into a single-parent family and was abandoned at an orphanage at a young age. In order to survive, she entered society early to find work. Her cute appearance caught the eye of an entertainment company. Initially, Ai Hoshino felt unloved from childhood and was not good at building connections with others. She had never been loved and did not know how to love others. The company's president thought this was better. The personas in the entertainment industry are almost all fabricated. Love wrapped in lies made it easier to handle thousands of fans. As long as Ai Hoshino could continue to perform on stage and respond to the fans' love, perhaps one day, even the lies would become reality. It was the president's words that convinced Ai Hoshino to become an idol. While she longed to be loved, she hoped that one day she could genuinely love others. However, learning to love was more difficult than Ai Hoshino had imagined. Now that her twins were 5 years old, she had never told them, "I love you." She was afraid that those words would also be a lie. Due to her flourishing career, the company secured a movie role for Ai Hoshino. Unlike the president's excitement, Ai Hoshino was full of concerns. Movie shoots are generally long, and she couldn't leave her children. If she brought them to the set, the fact that she had children out of wedlock could easily be exposed. Her manager assured Ai Hoshino not to worry. As long as the kids didn't cause trouble, they could just claim the children were hers to the public. The shooting went smoothly, but because Akuya retained memories from his past life, he appeared much more mature than other children his age. Akuya's demeanor caught the director's interest, leading to an invitation to act in a film. With time on his hands, Akuya accepted. He did not ask for a salary, only hoping that Ai Hoshino would be considered for future acting opportunities and that the theme song would feature songs by B Komachi. The girl they were facing was Kanai Arima, set to act alongside Akuya. Kanai, a self-proclaimed child prodigy, initially scorned Akuya for his lack of acting experience. Despite this being his first film, Akuya's performance shocked Kanai, and the shooting went smoothly in one take. Ai Hoshino was pleased to discover Akuya's natural acting talent. Ruby, on the other hand, aspired to debut as an idol like her mother. Ai Hoshino looked forward to performing on stage with her daughter someday. With B Komachi's unstoppable popularity, Ai Hoshino finally got the chance to perform at Tokyo Dome. To better prepare for the concert, the company president spent heavily to rent a mansion nearby. Performing at the Tokyo Dome represents the highest honor for all idols, prompting the president to urge Ai Hoshino to avoid any negative publicity during this period, especially avoiding contact with the children's biological father. Despite saying what others expected to hear, Ai had already contacted the children's father and revealed her current address. However, he did not appear until the eve of the concert. The next morning, as Ai Hoshino was about to meet her teammates, the doorbell rang unexpectedly. She opened the door unguardedly to a stranger. Before she could react, a sharp blade pierced her abdomen. The noise outside alarmed Akuya, and he was shocked by the scene before him. This was the man who had mysteriously killed him years ago. Now all he could do was call for help. Facing extreme fan criticism, Ai Hoshino did not argue. She admitted to being irresponsible and not knowing how to love others. She insisted that she never intended to deceive her fans as fools. Lying was just her way of expressing love to make her fans happy. She conveyed love in her own way. The noise from downstairs woke Ruby up. Ai Hoshino recognized the man in front of her by name. Misinterpreting the fans' reaction, Ai Hoshino thought she had made a mistake and immediately apologized. She admitted she had always been bad at remembering names. As a mother, she often confused Akuya and Ruby when they were young. However, she was certain this fan had attended many handshake events before. Ai Hoshino had not mistaken the fan's name and clearly remembered the gifts she had given. The fan, learning all this, broke down completely and fled the scene. Physically exhausted, Ai Hoshino collapsed on the floor, using her last bit of strength to block the door, not wanting Ruby to witness the bloody scene. Akuya examined the wound and found that the knife had pierced a major artery. Despite his medical knowledge, he was powerless to help in this situation. Ruby desperately knocked on the door. Distraught, Ai Hoshino knew she was not a traditional good mother, but she sincerely felt that having Akuya and Ruby was a joy. She had always kept a thought to herself, afraid to say it out loud, but now she finally expressed her love for her children. After speaking, Ai Hoshino felt relieved, realizing that this genuine feeling of love was not a lie. Relieved, Ai Hoshino passed away with many regrets, leaving behind 2 nearly hopeless children. Her death caused a sensation, and the police quickly disclosed details of the case. The fan who murdered her chose suicide afterward. Despite Ai Hoshino's immense popularity, discussions about her faded just 3 days after her death. Her manager offered to adopt the 2 children. Akuya believed that Ruby would soon overcome her grief. From their years together, it was clear that Ruby was an innocent child. As for himself, burdened with memories from a past life, and now with Ai Hoshino gone, he did not want to live in a world without her. As Akuya considered ending his life, a casual remark from his sister sent chills down his spine. The funeral was not public, so how did so many people know about it? The murderer of his past life and Ai Hoshino was the same person. Ai Hoshino had chosen a rural hospital to conceal her illegitimate child. How did the killer know Ai Hoshino's whereabouts? Recalling overhearing Ai Hoshino's phone call to their biological father, he suspected their father was involved. He decided to avenge his mother by killing the man. Ruby, influenced by her mother, had always wanted to be an idol. She auditioned relentlessly as she grew older but was never accepted, largely because many offers were secretly rejected by her protective brother. He did not want Ruby to follow in Ai Hoshino's tragic footsteps. After Ai Hoshino's death, the company president shut down the business and disappeared. The brother had been searching for their biological father, who was likely in the entertainment industry. Ruby, still determined to become an idol, even considered becoming an underground idol despite the risks and low pay. Seeing this, the agent planned to restart the company to help her become an idol. A director, remembering Akuya's impressive acting at age 5, tried to persuade him to act again, but Akuya had no interest in the entertainment industry. The director had a disc given by Ai Hoshino, only to be opened when the children turned 18. What was the relationship between Ai Hoshino and the director? This year, the siblings turned 15. Ruby was attending an acting school and encountered Kanai Arima, a child star she had acted with in the past. Kanai, still competitive, urged Akuya to continue acting to regain her status. Uninterested, Akuya heard that Kanai's new movie's producer was Katsuya. Recalling that Katsuya was in Ai Hoshino's contact list, he planned to visit the set to uncover the truth, taking on a minor role as the female lead stalker. The male lead, originally a model, couldn't act at all, which left Kanai quite helpless. Although she was a good actress, if others performed poorly, she had to underperform to avoid making them look worse. Kanai felt awkward too. Despite her acting skills, she hadn't worked in a long time. The director chose her because she was a cost-effective option, focusing on promoting new talents instead. Akuya couldn't stand watching this. He decided to help Kanai, and his excellent performance touched her deeply. Their heartfelt acting impressed the comic artist, who had thought the adaptation would be terrible, but was surprised to see someone actually put effort into it. Producer Katsuya also noticed Akuya, saying he resembled the idol Ai Hoshino, and mentioned he often saw Ai Hoshino up close, which made him even more suspicious. Akuya, claiming to be a fan of Ai Hoshino, questioned Katsuya about her. Katsuya smiled slightly and said he'd tell him when the time was right. Not one to be fooled easily. Akuya took a cigarette butt Katsuya had smoked and had a DNA test done, which showed a 0% chance of paternity, eliminating one suspect. Meanwhile, Ruby was eager to become an idol, but couldn't find team members. She thought of the talented child star Kanai, who initially hesitated. After hearing Ruby call her adorable, and her brother praising her emphatically on his knees, Kanai agreed to join. Katsuya called Akuya, urging him to participate in a reality dating show, promising to reveal Ai Hoshino's secrets, like her relationships, after the show ended. Akuya couldn't refuse. The reality dating show began, where pairing up often leads to kissing. Immediately, a girl made her move, enticing the men with various flirtations, quickly becoming the center of attention. Akane, an actress, couldn't relax and was barely noticed. The production team suggested she should steal a man to get noticed. Direct as ever, Akane did just that and gained attention, but it was mostly negative. The girl she confronted was tough, and a dramatic showdown ensued. Although the participants quickly made up, the show only broadcasted their argument. Online backlash was fierce, with some wishing Akane would get into an accident. Overwhelmed by the hate, Akane considered suicide. At this critical moment, Akuya stepped in to help change her image. He obtained footage of their reconciliation from the production team, edited it into a friendly video, and posted it online, ending the bullying. Grateful, Akane asked Akuya about his ideal type, and he described someone very much like the idol Ai Hoshino. Akane then studied Ai Hoshino intensely, preparing to portray her on the show. Despite her efforts, she didn't resemble Ai Hoshino at all. However, Akane made a sharp analysis based on Ai Hoshino's history, suggesting she might have had a secret child due to her temporary exit from the industry and subsequent personality change upon returning, perhaps triggered by maternal instincts. Akuya was shocked by how accurate her guess was, considering he lived with Ai Hoshino and never analyzed her as deeply. In the finale, he decided to go for a kiss with Akane simply because she still had value to him. They paired up successfully, causing heartache for Kanai, who had a crush on Akuya. Akuya's passionate kiss with Akane led to record-breaking viewership. Katsuya fulfilled his promise and revealed Ai Hoshino's first love, also her last romance. Ai Hoshino initially struggled in her career and considered quitting several times. A director recommended she join the La theater troupe, where Akane was also a member. Although now popular, the troupe couldn't fill even 200 seats at the time. After joining, Ai Hoshino matured suddenly, which the director attributed to finding love. Akuya checked the timelines and realized her stint at La coincided with her pregnancy, suggesting the father was linked to the troupe. The director introduced Akuya to a producer from La who was managing a new play, Blade of Tokyo. Akuya decided to join to investigate further. After the reality show ended, Akane directly asked Akuya if his intentions were genuine. Akuya candidly expressed his disinterest in real romance, suggesting they continue their on-screen relationship a bit longer. Meanwhile, another couple who didn't succeed on screen were actually together in private, highlighting the unpredictability of reality shows. Another participant, a famous internet streamer, had originally wanted to be an idol. Akuya suggested she form a group with his sister, noting her potential and existing fan base. The agent quickly spotted an issue. The girl had lied about her age. Forced to confess, the streamer revealed she had aspired to be an idol since childhood, but had to quit school and work to support her family when her mother fell ill and she had a younger brother to care for. She worked at a women's bar at night. After her mother recovered, she was already 23 and felt too old to become an idol, so she became a YouTube streamer, initially lying about being a high school student to attract fans, a deception she continued as her popularity grew. Moved by her story, Kanai felt sympathy for the streamer. Ruby invited the streamer to join their idol trio. Akuya and Akane continued their business relationship, posting intimate photos from a date at an aquarium online. Watching their sweet date, Kanai felt quite upset. Ruby and the streamer vied for the center spot, which Kanai had no interest in since she was tone-deaf and a poor dancer. Having been briefly popular as a child singer, despite singing poorly, the other two even pushed her to take the center position because they sang even worse, leaving Kanai no choice but to stand in the center. The agent laughed, noting how low the standards for the center position had become over time. This made Kanai panic about her own capabilities to hold that position. Akuya comforted her, praising Kanai's sense of responsibility as stronger than anyone else's, which immediately recharged her. Meanwhile, Akuya and Akane were busy reading through a script. The actors were trying hard and performing well. However, the original author, after listening, was furious at the dramatist for turning the female lead into an idiot. She demanded to rewrite the script herself, or she would halt the production. The scriptwriter had no choice but to resign. Akuya remained calm, understanding the complexity of adapting works for live action. He knew that before a script is finalized, many parties including translators, publishers, and producers have their own considerations, and significant changes to scripts are inevitable. He relied on the producer to mediate and find the best solution for everyone involved. A complete redo was impossible due to time constraints. The producer suggested a compromise where the original author and the scriptwriter would collaborate on revising the script, starting with one episode to keep the production moving. Meanwhile, the idol group practiced intensely, preparing for Japan's largest idol event. Being new, they were only allotted a small side stage. Kanai, feeling nervous, reflected on her own disappointing career trajectory where her CDs sold poorly, leading to a lot of personal disillusionment. She did not want her peers to experience the same. The performance was about to start. The other two began to feel nervous, but encouraged each other and went on stage with passion. As Kanai performed, she started to panic. The streamer had brought her own fans, and the audience was there to see her. Ruby was naturally dazzling, seemingly born to be an idol. Only Kanai went unnoticed, but she wasn't completely without support. Akuya was there. The performance was reasonably successful. Akuya was also very busy. After being a fan, he started shooting for a TV show. The script for the first episode had just been completed and shooting was scheduled for the next day. The whole team was rushing to meet deadlines. However, the actress playing the second female lead twisted her ankle and had to withdraw last minute, causing the producer to panic. The director demanded a replacement with some fame. Seizing the opportunity, Akuya recommended Kanai, who had some recognition. But a new problem arose. Kanai and Akane didn't get along, to put it mildly. They were rivals. Kanai had been a child prodigy in acting, and Akane had also acted from a young age and looked up to Kanai as an idol. However, Kanai had been dismissive and had taken many roles from her. Now, the roles were reversed. Kanai had no roles while Akane was more popular. The situation was tense, nearly leading to a fight. Akuya, who was not a professional actor, kept being called out by the director. Kanai pointed out that the director valued genuine emotion, but Akuya was used to suppressing his feelings. When challenged on how to act in a crying scene, Kanai used a drastic approach, asking him how he would feel if his mother died. This struck a nerve with Akuya, making him think of Ai Hoshino's death, and he fainted. Akane took him to the director's house to rest. It was then she learned that this was not the first time. Akuya had panic disorder. He had experienced something terrifying as a child, and recalling it triggered his panic attacks. Akane, being intelligent and recalling Ai Hoshino's experience and the situation with Akuya's siblings, seemed to guess something. Akuya's reshoot still failed to meet the requirements. With pressing deadlines, they had to resort to using eye drops. Akuya felt somewhat dejected, lamenting that he really wasn't cut out for acting. Akane comforted him, urging him to think about why he acted in the first place. The answer shocked her. His goal was to kill someone. Tokyo Blade finally aired. The first episode trended multiple times and reached double-digit viewership ratings, a fantastic start. However, the viewership ratings have been dropping. The executives threatened to cancel the show if the ratings continued to fall. The producer was helpless. The show's world was vast, and the first 4 episodes were all setting the stage. The 5th episode, which featured a famous scene from the manga with the male lead and Kanai, was too late to change. The producer decided to try one more episode. The 5th episode restored a classic manga scene and surged in trending topics again. The viewership began to rise, and the producer breathed a sigh of relief. Kanai became popular once again. The idol group couldn't be left behind. They quickly released their first song to capitalize on the popularity. The manager contacted a music producer who often worked with Ai Hoshino's era, but he was now a big name and hadn't responded yet. Ruby, unable to wait, approached the producer directly to ask for a song. Moved by Ruby's enthusiasm, the producer put all other work on hold to write a song for her. The TV drama reached its grand finale. Akane and Kanai had a duel, which was a great opportunity to showcase their acting skills. Following the duel was a climactic scene where Akuya tries to save Akane, but Akane chooses to commit suicide. Akuya, holding a blood-covered Akane, weeps bitterly. The drama was finally completed. Both Kanai and Akane performed well in their acting duel. Akuya also made a significant discovery. His mission was to find his father. He pulled out a DNA test result, revealing that he and the male lead were half-brothers sharing the same father.